The long-awaited Pokemon Presents just went down, and there were a whole lot of announcements to get through, so let's break that all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. Alright, that long-awaited Pokemon Presents just went down, albeit there wasn't too much to talk about there, but there were some key announcements that I want to break down in this here video. Up first, I want to talk about this game that was announced. It was kind of a curveball here, but it's Pokemon Champions. This game looks to be a collaboration between Game Freak and the Pokemon Works. Now, the Pokemon Works sounds pretty different because that is a newer subsidiary of the Pokemon Company. Now, Pokemon Champions looks to be this more battle-focused franchise, and according to them, quote, this new battle-focused game will feature familiar mechanics such as Pokemon types, abilities, and moves, creating an environment conducive to rich and varied strategies for new and experienced trainers alike. Now, the key thing here for Pokemon Champions is it's going to be a cross-platform title, and it's not like you think. It's going to be a mobile game, and it will be for the Switch. And I also think they said it's going to be Pokemon Home compatible, so you might be able to take the Pokemon from the main games and bring them into this one. And it is worth noting there's no information about a launch date yet, but again, this game is just in current development. Now, of course, with the Pokemon Presents comes a ton of other things, quite frankly. To me, it's just all a bunch of BS, like the mobile games, Pokemon Sleep, I still can't believe that's a thing, and then all these weird, quirky things in between. So, let's move on to the big stuff, and let's talk about Pokemon Legends ZA. That's right, at this Pokemon Presents, the Pokemon Company debuted a new trailer of Pokemon Legends ZA. Of course, if you are unfamiliar with this franchise, it's an expansion to the Pokemon Legends series, which began in 2022. And it looks like Pokemon Legends ZA will be a future version of the Kalos region. Specifically, the game kind of centers around Lumio City, which again was seen in Pokemon X and Y. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what we should expect from Pokemon Legends ZA with an official description from the Pokemon Company website. Quote, the story is set in Lumio City, where an urban redevelopment plan is underway to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. Compared to Lumio City as it appeared in Pokemon X and Y games, released in 2013, more greenery now adorns the city, alongside facilities with a cutting-edge feel. In Lumio City, spaces frequented by people such as shopping arcades, cafes, and restaurants coexist with more natural areas, such as waterfronts and verdant parks. At the center of Lumios stands Prism Tower, the very symbol of the city. So it does look like Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be set in the future, and it does have a more urban style of feel, which a lot of people have questions about how do you capture Pokemon in the city, so let's break that part down. So, as they said in Lumio City, we're going to be getting these wild zones, and these are parts of the city where Pokemon and humans kind of live together. This is where you're going to be able to kind of battle and catch Pokemon on the fly. And speaking of Pokemon, we got our look at the trio that we're going to be starting out with, and it's going to be Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile, which, in case you need to know, I'm rocking with Totodile. Now, another big part of Pokemon Legends ZA that was shown off here was the battling mechanics, and apparently, no pun intended, they switched things up here. Quote, in previous titles in the Pokemon video game series, Pokemon took action once per turn. In Pokemon Legends ZA, trainers and their Pokemon will be able to move around in real time during battles, and Pokemon will unleash their moves when their trainer commands them to. In addition to type matchups, there will be new gameplay mechanics to consider, such as the precise timing for swapping out your Pokemon or using moves, and how big an area the moves will impact. This unprecedented style for Pokemon battling is one of the most thrilling parts of this title. And let's not forget the best part about Pokemon Legends ZA being Mega Evolutions. They are back, and here's me hoping we get Mega Flygon. Now, there's another bit, like a deeper conspiracy about Pokemon Legends ZA, and it centers around the hotel owner who claims to be 3,000 years old. And apparently this guy was around during the Great Battles, so that's something to kind of keep a lookout for when it comes to the game's plot. And last but certainly not least, especially in regards to Pokemon Legends EA, we don't have a release date for it, only late 2025, so I would assume around November, December. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this one off to you guys. What do you think about this Pokemon Presents? And that about does it here. I've been K-Lo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.